Chapter 11. I wake up to the sound of traffic. I sit up slowly. My room smells like damp clothes and frying bacon from last night. My hoodie is twisted around me. At some point I must have cocooned myself in it, and then lost the battle with the gravity. The alarm clock on my bedside table says 9:11. I should be at school, but I am not at school. For a second I panic about missed classes, homework, excuses, all the normal crap that used to feel big. Then I remember nights in the rain, a red button, and decide that school definitely can wait. There's a soft noise from the other room. Springs creak. Someone mutters something in French that sounds like they're about to murder a pillow. I push the blanket off and shuffle down the corridor. My heartbeat is picking up for no good reason. The living room looks almost normal. Morning light washes the colors out of everything. The TV is still off. The coffee table is back where it belongs instead of trying to kill me. The only wrong thing is the girl on the sofa. Martha is curled up there under my spare blanket, with her hair being a dark tangle on the cushion, one bare foot sticking out. At some point in the night she must have kicked the blanket away. Its half is on the floor now. For someone who doesn't technically need to sleep, she looks very asleep. I stand in the doorway and watch her breathing. It's slow and steady, a tiny movement in her chest she doesn't even need. Sunlight is catching on her hair. Without the red cloak, the blood, and the murder face, she looks younger, almost my age, for real instead of centuries but pretending. My phone buzzes on the coffee table and I nearly jump into the ceiling. Martha's eyes snap open like someone has pulled strings. Red floods back in an instant. She's upright before I finished picking up the phone. "It's just a message," I blurt, with my fingers shaking as I check the screen. "It's fine, It's my mom. Meeting ran late. We stayed at the office. Back home around 10. You up? I look at the time again. 9:13. 10 is not that far. Is there a problem? Martha asks. Her voice is rough with sleep. It's weirdly human, I must say. My parents, I say. They will be home in less than an hour. She blinks once, processing that. Then she throws the blanket aside and swings her legs off the sofa. Bon. Then we have less than an hour to decide how much truth you plan to feed them before their heads explode. I was thinking none, I say weakly. A coward's portion, she says, but there's no bite in it. She stretches with her joints popping quietly, then pads over to the window and peeks through the curtain. The outside looks the same as last night. Yeah, I say. That's sort of its thing. I text back with my clumsy thumbs. Yeah, I'm up. Feeling a bit sick, might skip school, see you soon. Three dots appear almost instantly. My stomach clenches. Ok, stay home and rest. We will bring food. Love you. The usual warmth that it gives me is still there, but now there's a layer of cold on top. They're bringing food into a flat with a vampire in it. Great. Do they know you're sick because you were almost turned into a decoration for royal chains? Martha asks, still watching the street. No, I say. They think that sick means too much homework to do. Then we should keep it that way, she says. At least for now. I drop onto one of the kitchen chairs and let my head fall into my hands for a moment. We need a plan, I mumble into my palms. And I'm really tired of saying that sentence. Martha lets the curtain fall and turns back to me. The borrowed t-shirt hangs off one shoulder. The sweatpants are tied too tight around her waist, and somehow she still looks like she owns the room. Bon, she says. Step 1. I hide when the parents arrive. Step 2, you pretend to be a normal, depressed teenager. Step 3, we stop pretending this can continue for more than a day. Where are you going to hide? I ask. In the cupboard? Under the bed? My parents aren't stupid, they will notice the extra shoes and the murder aura. She tilts her head, thinking. C'est balcon. The balcony? I glance at the tiny glass door. It's like 1 meter wide. You will be visible from half the block. I meant above it, she says. She points upwards. I can cling like a bat. I open my mouth to say, that's ridiculous. Then remember she jumped off roofs yesterday for fun. Oh, I say instead. Right, sure. Stealing? Fine. And the phone buzzes again. This time it's a calendar notification for school. It feels like a message from a world that got left on read. I swipe it away. We don't just need somewhere to hide for 10 minutes, I say. We need an answer. To all of this, Martha's expression tightens. She walks over to the table and sits opposite from me, just like last night. Only now the plates are gone and the daylight makes every shadow sharper. Show me the toy, she says. It takes me a second to realize that she means the device. I fish it out of my hoodie pocket. My fingers leave greasy fingerprints on the metal. Up close, it looks worse than in the dark. The casing is scuffed and cracked along one edge. The red button's glow is barely there now, a dull ember under the scarred plastic. Martha reaches out but doesn't touch it at first. She holds her hand over it with her palm down, like she's feeling the heat from a campfire. Her eyelids lower a little. I can feel her all over this, she says quietly. Corridor logic, shortcut magic, Burk. Can she feel us? I ask. Not like this, Martha says. She finally picks it up between her thumb and forefinger as if it might bite. But every time you press it, you shout, "Here I am!" into the corridors, very loudly, with fireworks. So using it in that alley was basically putting up a giant sign for Sasha, I say. Yes, she says. But so was being in that alley at all. Louis works with them more than he admits. They trade information. You are already on the map. Comforting, I mutter. She turns the device over slowly. It is cracked, she says. The last jump almost broke it. I think it has one more in it. Maybe. Maybe? She shrugs. Magic is not a bus schedule, Max. It's more like rolling a dice with a floor. Cool, I say. So, if I press it again, what happens? If you press it here, she asks, in this flat. Yeah. She sets the device back on the table, gently now. Then perhaps it will take you somewhere, she says, or open a door for someone else to come through. And if Sasha is watching closely, she will not even need the door. She will just follow the noise. Here, I say, to my house. To your kitchen, she corrects. A very cozy place for a murder. So option 1 is stay here, don't touch the button, hope that they will never find me, I say. Hope is not a strategy, she says. Feels like it sometimes, I mutter. She ignores that. Option 2, you press it from somewhere not here, she goes on. We take the risk that it still works and does not explode. Maybe it will drop you into the Nexus again, maybe into Darton, maybe into the open sky. With my luck, probably to the open sky. And Sasha? If she is fast, she will come too, Martha says simply. This time through a place she chooses, not you, and she will not waste a spell on knocking you out. Love that for me, I say. She lifts one shoulder. You wanted it, honestly. Yeah, I say. I did. There is a long pause. The fridge is humming. Someone in the staircase clatters down the steps and slams the front door of the building. Every normal sound in this flat feels louder now. What's the option 3? I ask. She looks at me like she's been waiting for that question. Darkwood, she says. You can open a corridor there from here? I ask. From near here, she says. I am not ripping your parents' living room in half. Merci bien. Her mouth quirks. But yes, it is where my magic knows best, where it bites less against the world. And if we go, then you are in a place designed to eat things like you, she said bluntly. Not to kill necessarily, just grind down. You will be the only human in a castle of predators who consider you a fragile curiosity at best and a snack at worst. There is war at the edges, politics in the middle, and my father somewhere in between. Wow, I say. You really know how to sell a destination. I am not a travel brochure, mon cher, she says, but it is also the one realm where I have leverage. Name, royal blood, respect. I can hide you there. I can teach you things. I can keep an eye on you. Like a plant, I say. Or a bomb. Exactly, she says. I lean back and rub my forehead. So my choices are sit here and wait for the ceiling to fall, press the button and hope that Sasha doesn't come through my toaster, or move into a vampire war country with you. Yes, she says. Those are the flavors of the disaster available today. Great, I say. Just checking that we hadn't forgotten any particularly peaceful ones. She is quiet for a moment, watching me. Then she reaches across the table and taps her knuckles lightly against mine. The gesture is awkward, almost shy. You can also pretend that none of this is happening, she says. Say no to all of it. Smash the device, lock your windows, go to school, grow old, have a job you hate, complain about taxes, die without seeing another corridor. Her eyes flick to the photos on the shelf. Me as a kid, my parents at some office party, a blurry class trip picture. This life is not nothing, she says. It is small, but it is not worthless. You sound like you'd prefer it, I say. She snorts. For me? Jamais. Then, more gently. For you? Maybe. Sometimes. When you look very tired. I always look tired, I say. Then very, very tired, she says. I stare at the device. It stares back, warm and dim. What would you do? I ask quietly. If you were me. I am not you, she says instantly. I am immortal and arrogant and full of very bad decisions. Yeah, I say. That didn't answer the question. She hesitates. For a second she actually looks uncertain, which is not a thing that I see often. I would run towards the thing that scares me the most, she says finally. Because if I do not, it will run towards me. And then I am not choosing, I am just prey. I let that sit in there. It settles in the same place the thought from last night did. The part of me that is so done with just being a luggage. The front door intercom buzzes suddenly. Both of us jump. I grab the receiver. Yeah? Max? My dad's voice crackles through, distorted by the cheap speakers. We are downstairs. Your mom bought half the pharmacy for your cold. Come open the door. Coming, I say, maybe a little too loudly. Give me 2 minutes. Martha is already moving. In 3 steps she's at the balcony, sliding the door open without making a sound. Cold air rushes in. She hauls herself up onto the railing like it's nothing and looks back over her shoulder at me. I will stick to your wall, she says. Try not to invite them to look up. D'accord? Got it, I say. My heart is beating so fast it makes my vision pulse. Don't overhear too much. She bares her fangs in a quick grin. Too late, she says, and then she's gone. Up and sideways, fingers and toes finding invisible holes in the concrete. By the time I've crossed the room and peeked out, there is no sign of her, just the wet balcony, the drip of water from the rail, the dull view of the courtyard. I hope the neighbors aren't home, or, if they are, that they think climbing vampires are a normal part of the scenery now. I shove the device into my pocket, take one deep breath, and go open the front door. The next 20 minutes are almost harder than at the alley. My parents sweep in with bags. Noise and the smell of outside. My mom cups my face and comments on how pale I look. My dad makes a joke about all-night Overwatch gaming sessions and warns me that even young buddies need some sleep. They bring in soup in plastic containers, pomegranate juice, paracetamol. I lied more in that half an hour than I had in the past 2 years. Yes, I feel a bit better today. No, nothing serious, just a headache. Yes, school can send me the homework. No, I don't want to see the doctor. Yes, I'm sure. No, I haven't done anything stupid. Every time my mom moves towards the balcony door, I die a little inside. Every time my dad glances at the sofa, I imagine him seeing a red-eyed girl curled there instead of a folded blanket. They don't. They see what they expect to see. That terrifies me almost as much as the alternative. Eventually, the bags are unpacked, the soup is in the fridge, and they're both checking emails at the kitchen table. My dad has a call in an hour, my mom has another meeting. Modern life, running on autopilot. We will be working, my mom says. Try to nap a bit, okay? Yeah, I say. I might go up on the roof for air. Put a jacket on, my dad says without looking up. It's still cold. Sure, I say, and try not to laugh hysterically. They disappear into the other room. The door closes. The instant it does, I let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding. I slip back to the balcony and slide the door open a crack. They are working, I whisper. You can come down. Martha drops into my view upside down, hanging by her hands. Your father has a terrible laugh, she says. You were supposed not to eavesdrop, I hiss. I said it was too late, she reminds me, then swings herself gracefully over the railing and into the flat. Her hair is full of dust now. A smear of gray runs along one arm where she scraped the wall. Any neighbors seen you? I ask. If they did, they will tell themselves it was a very big pigeon, she says. Humans are good at that. I want to argue, but she's right and we both know it. We should go somewhere higher, I say. If you're going to open a thing, I circle my hand to indicate portal without saying it in case my parents suddenly develop vampire hearing too. The roof, she says. You told them already. Yeah, I say. So, if they come looking for me later and I'm gone, they will think you went for a very long walk, she says. Or joined a cult, or got a job. Parents have many nightmares. Let them keep the small ones. It's a terrible plan. It's also the only one we have. I grab my jacket and my keys. The device is in my pocket, heavy and warm. We slip into the staircase, passing slightly open working room door and climb up. 3 flights up, past the smell of someone cooking cabbage, past the neighbor's door with the Adolf Hitler sticker on it, all the way up to the metal ladder that leads to the rooftop door. It opens with a reluctant groan. Cold air hits us full in the face. The roof is a flat rectangle of gravel and puddles, bounded by a low parapet. The city sprawls around us. Grey blocks, wide streets, a strip of dull river in the distance. The clouds hang low and heavy. Martha steps out like she's walking onto a stage. The wind whips her hair back. Up here she looks more like herself again. Not a strange guest in borrowed clothes, but something sharp, old, and dangerously alive. Better, she says. I can breathe. You don't need to breathe, I point out, zipping my jacket higher. Exactly, she says. I can choose to. We walk to the middle of the roof. The gravel is crunching under our shoes. Somewhere below us, my parents are discussing spreadsheets. Somewhere far above, corridors coil around walls like invisible snakes. This is the part, I say, where you tell me again that I don't have to come. Martha gives me a sidelong look. You do not, she says. You can walk back downstairs, tell your parents you change your mind about school, and spend the next 50 years pretending you're only afraid of exams. And you? I have my own way, she says. I go home. I become more of a problem there instead of here. She pauses. Maybe. One day you will hear about a strange collapse in the forest on the news, or you will not. Life goes on in any way. And if I go with you? I ask. She turns to face me fully now, with her red eyes steady. For once there is no smirk, no joke sitting ready on her tongue, just tired honesty. Then you step off your map, she says, completely. You do not get to be half and half anymore. No more, I fell by accident, I was dragged, I did not know. You go into Darkwood because you choose it, and everything that happens there is on you too. Even if I die in the first week, I try for lightness and fail. It comes out thin. Especially then, she says. This is not a hero story, Max, not the kind where the universe waits for you to be ready. It is a war, a family, and a lot of very old grudges. You will be a small piece in the big games. You might hate it. Selling it so well, I mutter. She steps closer until there's only half a meter of cold air between us. The wind tugs at the edge of her borrowed t-shirt. But, she says quietly, you will not be powerless. Not completely. You will learn. You will look people like Louis in the eye and not feel like luggage. You will walk through corridors because you decided to, not because someone threw you. And you? I ask. I will have to watch your stupid human choices from closer, she says, which will make me crazy, but less crazy than not knowing where you are. She doesn't reach for my hand, but her fingers twitch like they want to. I can promise you nothing, she says. No victory, no safety, no happy ending tied with ribbon. Only this. If you come, I will not pretend that you are a passenger. I will treat you like someone whose choices matter, even when they are terrible. I look past her at the city. Rows of windows like blank eyes, satellite dishes, graffiti on the rooftop of the next building. I try to imagine 50 years of this. Different flats, different jobs, same gravity. Watching the news and wondering if that weird storm over some forest is just weather or something with red eyes and orange corridors. Growing old while people like Martha and Sasha stay sharp and young and keep reshaping the worlds in ways I will never see. I reach into my pocket and wrap my fingers around the device. It's warm, like it has its own tiny pulse. It still feels like an exit. A last door I could slam shut, jump through or throw away. If I stay, I say slowly, I'll just be waiting for the next time someone else decides where I will fall. Martha's throat works. Yes, she says. I'm tired of that, I say. The words surprise me a little, but once they are out, they feel right. Solid. If I'm going to get killed by your world, I'd at least like to walk into it myself. A corner of her mouth lifts. Mon héros, she says softly. It's not a joke, not really. More like a small salute to my stupidity. So, I say, with my heart suddenly hammering, how does this work? She steps back and raises both of her hands. Red light flickers up around her fingers, brighter than it was in the alley, more controlled now. The air in front of us thickens, like someone is pulling a cling film over the sky. Stand close, she says. Very close. If you sleep, I am not fishing pieces of you out of the corridor. Comforting as always, I say, but I obey. I move to her side, so close that our shoulders start to brush. The contact steadies me more than I want to admit. She draws a slow circle in the air. At first, nothing happens. Then the space inside the circle darkens, with its edges going red, like a wound opening in midair. The wind that comes out of it smells like cold earth and something metallic. Darkwood, she whispers. Her voice changes slightly on the word, like she's switching languages mid-sentence. My stomach flips. My legs want to run into two directions at once. Instead, I force my hand to unclench from the device and offer it to her. She looks down at it, then up at me. For a second she just stands there, with red magic washing around her, hair snapping in the wind from both worlds. Then she takes my hand. Her fingers are cold and strong. One more thing, she says. Now you will tell me that there is a dress code, I say, with panic babbling. She huffs out a breath that might be a laugh. No. I will say this once, and then I will be very annoyed if you forget. You can't change your mind. Later, at any point, Darkwood does not close forever behind you. There are always doors, just fewer that do not have teeth. Great, I say. I will aim for the non-teeth ones. She squeezes my hand. Bien, she says. Ready? No, I say, but let's go anyway. We step forward together. Then the roof is gone. The hatch, the satellite dishes, the gray sky, all is cut off like someone has slammed a lid. We stumble out onto the uneven ground. The smell hits me first. Damp earth, rotting leaves, sharp resin from pine. The air is colder here, but cleaner. Trees rise up on all sides, tall and dark. Their branches are knitted together high above. The light is strange, less like daytime, more like an endless late evening. Off to the left, through the trunks, a river glints with white foam on the dark water, and ahead, on a hill that pushes out of the forest like a broken tooth, is the castle. It is bigger than I imagined. Not a neat fairy tale thing, but a sprawling, uneven mass of stone, all towers, walls, and terraces, as if generations kept adding to it without agreeing on the style. Some parts look ancient, blackened by time and smoke. Others are newer, sharper edged. Windows burn red or gold in patches. Welcome to Darkwood, Martha says quietly. Her voice, for once, sounds almost reverent. Bienvenue chez moi, Max. The portal behind us crackles and shrinks. I turn in time to see the last sliver of my world, gray sky and the ghost of rooftops, pinch down to a line and then pop out of existence with a soft crack. The silence that follows us is thick. No cars, no hum of electricity, just the river, the trees breathing, and my own heartbeat hammering in my ears. I reach into my pocket automatically. The device is still there, heavier somehow. The red light inside glows faintly, like an eye half open. A last emergency exit I haven't thrown away yet. Martha watches me feel for it, but she doesn't say anything. Not yet. She just stands there beside me, with her shoulders squared, looking up at the castle that used to be her whole world and now has to make room for me too. I swallow, taste the forest air, and look where she's looking. For the first time, I am not falling. I walked here, on purpose, and whatever comes next, I did the step myself.